I used to think my wife, Clara, and I had the kind of love people dream about. We laughed easily, shared everything, and could talk for hours about nothing. For 6 years, she was my best friend, my home, my peace. But lately, something had changed. It started small. She began smiling at her phone a little too often. Late at night, I'd glance over and see her screen light up, and she'd quickly turn it face down. She started spending more time getting ready before work, choosing perfume she hadn't worn in months. At first, I told myself I was imagining things. Maybe she was just busy. Maybe she was texting her friends. I didn't want to be that husband, the jealous, controlling one. So I swallowed the uneasy feeling in my chest and tried to move on, but it didn't go away. One night, while she was showering, I reached for her phone just to check the time, and it was suddenly locked. My heart sank. Clara had never hidden her phone from me before. We didn't have secrets. When I looked at the closed screen, it felt like there was a wall between us, one I didn't even know existed until that moment. A voice in my head whispered, "Something's wrong." But another voice said, "Don't be paranoid. She loves you." I sat there, staring at her phone, torn between trust and fear. I wanted to believe in her. I really did. But that night, for the first time in our marriage, I felt a chill, like the warmth of our love had started to fade, and I didn't know why. The next evening, while Clara was getting ready for bed, I tried to sound casual. "Hey," I said quietly, "why is your phone locked now? You never used to have a password." She froze for a second, then turned to me with a sharp look. "Why are you checking my phone, Ethan? Don't you trust me anymore?" Her tone stung. I hadn't even asked to see it. I just wanted to understand. "It's not that," I said gently. "It just surprised me, that's all. You've never hidden anything before." Clara sighed loudly and rolled her eyes. "You're being paranoid. Not everything is about you. I just wanted some privacy. Is that such a crime?" I tried to smile, but inside my heart was pounding. "I'm not trying to control you, Clara. I feel like something's different lately." She laughed bitterly. "Different? Maybe it's you. You've been acting so suspicious lately. You're imagining things." The way she said it made me feel small, like I was the problem. I wanted to argue, to tell her how cold she'd become, how distant her eyes looked when she talked to me. But I didn't. Instead, I nodded slowly and said, "Maybe you're right." She turned off the light and lay down, her back facing me. I lay awake beside her, staring into the darkness, wondering when my wife stopped being honest with me, and why I was starting to feel like a stranger in my own marriage. A few days passed, and things felt tense between us. Clara acted like nothing had happened, but there was a strange distance in her voice, a cold politeness that wasn't there before. Then one Friday evening, she came out of the bedroom, wearing a red dress I hadn't seen in months. Her hair was curled, her lipstick bright. For a moment, I just stared. She looked beautiful, but not for me. "Wow," I said softly. "What's the occasion?" She smiled, almost too quickly. "Just a small dinner with my coworkers. Nothing big." Something about the way she said it didn't sit right. She avoided my eyes, pretending to look for her purse. "Which coworkers?" I asked, trying to keep my voice light. She shrugged. "The usual team. Don't wait up, okay?" Then she kissed me on the cheek, the kind of quick, distant kiss that felt like a goodbye more than love, and hurried out the door. That night, I sat on the couch, pretending to watch TV. Every sound from the street made my heart race. Hours passed. Midnight came and went. No text, no call, nothing. When I finally heard the door open around 1 a.m., she walked in smelling of wine and something else, a man's cologne. "Hey," she said softly, avoiding my eyes again. "Sorry it went late." I smiled weakly. "Yeah, late." She turned away and headed straight to the shower. And that's when I knew she wasn't just keeping secrets anymore. She was lying. That night, as the water ran behind the bathroom door, I sat in silence, feeling my heart slowly break, one quiet lie at a time. The next morning, Clara acted normal. Too normal. She hummed while making coffee, asked about my plans, and kissed my cheek before leaving for work. But her fake calm only made my gut twist tighter. Something was wrong. I could feel it. That night, I called my best friend, Marcus. We'd known each other since college. He could read my mood in a heartbeat. "You look like you haven't slept in days," he said when I told him everything. I nodded. I don't want to believe she's lying. But I can't shake this feeling. Marcus leaned back and sighed. "If you think something's off, don't ignore it. Find out the truth. You deserve to know." His words hit me hard. He was right. I needed the truth, even if it broke me. Later that night, while Clara was in the shower again, I remembered something. Our old tablet was still linked to her phone. We use it to watch movies sometimes, and it had her message app synced. My hands trembled as I opened it. A few seconds later, I saw a new message notification from someone saved as L. Curious, I opened the chat, and then my heart stopped. L, wish you were here again tonight. Clara, don't tempt me face blowing a kiss. I felt the air leave my lungs. I scrolled up more messages. Flirty jokes, private photos, memories. Every word felt like a knife. L, it took me a moment to realize who that was. Liam, her ex-boyfriend, the one she once said she'd completely moved on from. My world shattered. I just sat there, staring at the screen, unable to breathe. The woman I trusted most, the one I built my future with, was talking to another man like I didn't even exist. That night, I didn't cry. I just felt numb, cold and hollow, like the love I thought was ours had quietly died while I wasn't looking. The next few days felt unreal. I went to work, smiled at people, talked like everything was fine, but inside, I was falling apart. Every time Clara looked at me, I saw her differently. Her laughter sounded forced. Her touch felt fake. And yet she acted so sweet, almost overly kind. Cooking my favorite meals, asking about my day, even hugging me for no reason. Maybe she sensed something. Maybe she was trying to cover her tracks. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I needed proof, not just screenshots on a tablet, but something she couldn't deny. So I started noticing things. The time she went out with coworkers. The perfume she only wore on certain nights. The messages she'd quickly delete after smiling at her phone. Each clue was a tiny crack in the wall of lies she'd built between us. At night, when she fell asleep beside me, I'd stare at the ceiling and wonder how long she'd been pretending. The woman breathing softly next to me wasn't the same one who used to stay up talking until sunrise. The pain was sharp, but I kept quiet. I wanted her to think I still trusted her, because when the truth came out, I wanted it to hit her harder than any argument ever could. And deep down, I promised myself one thing. The next time she lied to me, it would be the last. A week later, the moment I'd been waiting for arrived. That evening, Clara stood by the mirror, carefully putting on lipstick, the same deep red she used to wear when we first started dating. She looked stunning, but I couldn't even admire her anymore. Every detail felt like a warning. "Big night?" I asked quietly. She smiled without looking at me. "Yeah, team dinner again. Don't stay up too late." Something inside me went still. I nodded and said nothing. When she left, I waited a few minutes before opening the family location sharing app she'd forgotten about. Her little appeared on the map, but it wasn't anywhere near the restaurant she'd mentioned. It was moving toward the other side of town, right near Liam's apartment. My hands trembled, but my mind was strangely calm. I grabbed my keys and drove. When I got there, I parked across the street. Through the apartment window, I saw them, Clara and Liam, sitting close together, wine glasses in hand, laughing like they didn't have a care in the world. For a few minutes, I couldn't move. My chest ached, but my tears wouldn't come. I just watched, memorizing the image that would haunt me forever. I didn't go in. I didn't scream. I just took a photo. Proof. Truth. The end of denial. When she came home later that night, I was waiting in the living room. She froze when she saw me. "Hey," she said, her voice trembling. "You're still up?" "Yeah," I replied softly. "Had a quiet night. How was your dinner? She hesitated. It was fine. Why? I turned my phone around and showed her the photo. Color drained from her face. Ethan, it's not what it looks like. I cut her off. You said I was paranoid. You made me feel crazy for wanting the truth. But it is what it looks like. Her lips quivered. Please, just listen. I stood up, my heart breaking all over again. No, Clara, I've listened enough. For the first time, she had no words. And for the first time, I didn't need any. For a long moment, we just stood there, silence filling the space where our love used to live. Clara's eyes filled with tears. Ethan, please, it's not what you think, she whispered, stepping closer. Yes, I met him, but I just wanted closure. That's all. Closure? I repeated, my voice shaking. You lied. You said you were out with coworkers. You called me paranoid while sneaking around with your ex. That's not closure, that's betrayal. She covered her face, sobbing. I swear it didn't mean anything. I was confused. I missed how I used to feel. But I never wanted to hurt you. Her words hit me like broken glass, sharp, painful, and too late. I sat down, my chest tight. You didn't just hurt me, Clara. You destroyed the trust we built. I beg you be honest, and you made me feel like I was crazy. She knelt beside me, grabbing my hands, crying harder. Please, Ethan, don't leave me. We can fix this. But I couldn't even look at her. The woman holding my hands felt like a stranger. After long silence, I stood up and said quietly, I need space. Her voice cracked. Where are you going? To remember who I am without you. I said, walking toward the door. That night, I stayed at Marcus's place. The moment I sat down on his couch, the weight of everything hit me. The woman I loved had betrayed me, and now she was the one crying, begging, while I was the one walking away. For the first time, she was feeling what I'd felt for weeks. Fear, regret, and the pain of losing something real. Days turned into weeks. The first few nights at Marcus's place were the hardest. The silence was heavy, and my thoughts were louder than ever. I kept replaying everything in my head. The lies, the laughter, the photo. But slowly, the pain began to fade, replaced by something stronger, clarity. I started focusing on myself again. I went back to the gym, took long walks, and reconnected with friends I'd pushed away. For the first time in a long while, I felt like me again, not the man begging for truth, but the man who finally demanded respect. Meanwhile, Clara kept calling. Dozens of messages, all the same. I'm sorry. Please talk to me. I miss you. At first, I ignored them. But when she showed up at my workplace one afternoon, tears in her eyes, I realized she finally understood what she'd lost. Ethan, please, she whispered. I made a mistake. I was stupid. I thought I wanted something different, but I just want you. I looked at her for a long time. She wasn't wearing makeup. Her eyes were red and tired. For the first time, she looked human, broken. I took a deep breath. Clara, you made me feel crazy for trusting my instincts. You laughed at my pain. You don't get to come back now that you've realized I was right. Her face fell. She tried to speak, but no words came out. I walked away without anger, without hate, just peace. Because my revenge wasn't shouting or hurting her back. It was becoming the man she'd never deserve again. Weeks passed, and life slowly began to feel normal again. I moved back into my own place, smaller, quieter, but peaceful. No hidden lies, no late-night arguments, no pretending. Sometimes when I woke up alone, I still felt the emptiness beside me. But it didn't hurt the way it used to. It just reminded me how far I'd come. I realized something important. Love isn't just about staying together. It's about honesty, respect, and peace of mind. Once those things are gone, no amount of sorry can bring them back. One evening, as the sun set outside my window, I scrolled through my phone and found Clara's name still saved in my contacts. For a moment, I stared at it. The name that once made my heart race now meant nothing but memories. I deleted her number, blocked her messages, and put my phone down with a shaky breath. It was over, not in anger, but in acceptance. For the first time in months, I felt free, truly free. I wasn't broken anymore. I was wiser, stronger, more careful with my heart. Sometimes the people who call you paranoid are the same ones who are hiding the truth. And sometimes losing them is the best thing that can ever happen to you. That night, I slept peacefully, not because I'd forgotten her, but because I finally remembered myself. Months later, Clara became just another name in my past, a memory I no longer ran from. Life moved on quietly, and so did I. One morning, as I was heading to work, I saw a message from an unknown number. My chest tightened for a moment, but when I opened it, I knew exactly who it was. I miss you. I wish I'd listened when you tried to tell me. You were always right. I stared at the message for a while, feeling nothing but calm. The anger, the pain, the heartbreak, all of it had faded. What remained was peace. I didn't reply. I simply deleted it and slipped my phone into my pocket. Some things don't need closure. Some people don't deserve another chance to explain. As I walked outside, the morning air felt lighter. The world seemed brighter. For the first time in a long time, I smiled. Not because everything was perfect, but because I was... Clara had called me paranoid once. She'd laughed at my pain, twisted my words, and tried to make me doubt myself. But in the end, I found the truth, and she found regret. I took a deep breath, looked up at the sky, and whispered to myself, I survived it. I'm stronger now. And somewhere out there, I hope she realized the same thing. That losing me was the moment she finally understood what real love looked like.